You are watching William Patterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The NFL has been in a frenzy since the Super Bowl, and here to take the handoff, we have Samory, Andrew, Cal, and Ryan. You know, Samory, you're a known Tom Brady hater.
I am.
It took him 40 days to retire, not retire. I can't even call it a retirement, but he's coming back for his age 45 season. You know, what do you got to say about it?
I'm tired of him already. But if we take a look at Tom Brady's stats since 2020, I mean, I think he made the right decision. If you could see, since 2020, 83 touchdown passes, 24 interceptions. He has a record of 24-9, passing yards per game for an old man, 301 yards, and 5 playoff wins with a Super Bowl appearance and victory. He was top 2 in MVP last year. I mean, we didn't see his game dip. He was one of the best players in the NFL. He finished second in MVP. I hate that he's back. However, I understand. He has a chance to win another ring, and I think that's what he's coming to do.
You know, Andrew, a resident Cowboy fan, how do you feel about Brady coming back for another season, age 45, Buccaneers? What are their chances?
I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised how quickly it happened. I mean, his retirement was shorter than the lockout. I mean, he made all of us just look like an absolute bunch of stooges here on the desk, saying that he was gone. He's got nothing to prove. It doesn't matter how the season goes. But this season, he's going to run through the NFC South like he does the last 3 years. And the NFC is looking pretty weak, so I think he's gonna make a deep playoff run again.
Ryan?
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't see this coming. A lot of people did, but they just didn't want to admit it. But when when the announcement was made, I kind of knew that all along he was going to do this, because you can't. It's Tom Brady. You either honor your contract or you win a Super Bowl in that year. If he won a Super Bowl this year, maybe he would call it quits. But because he has unfinished business, as he says, he wants to come back and try to run it back like he did in 2020. I'm looking forward to seeing him play again, and what will most likely be his final season.
You know, Cal, what do you think about this, him coming back another season?
I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, and just looking at it, he's pretty much almost guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. I mean, if you look at the NFC South right now, you've got the competition at quarterback is Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and my Carolina Panthers, who are like the franchise equivalent of week-old kale. And so I really just think it was an absolute no-brainer for Tom Brady. I mean, he comes back, he gets a playoff spot pretty much guaranteed, and we'll see what they can do with it.
Well, he has to eat a lot of kale to stay healthy at 45. So, Cal, we'll stick it with you. Another quarterback that has a lot to prove is Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVPs, $150 million contract. You know, with Aaron Rodgers coming back, are the Packers still contenders?
Well, he is going back to the Packers as we take a look at his stats right now. You know, Aaron Rodgers coming back, he has 111 touchdown passes since 2019, 13 interceptions, a QB rating of 109.6, 2 playoff wins and 2 MVPs. But to be completely honest with you, Jimmy, I just don't see them being Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they'll have a lot of success. They didn't make the Super Bowl last year with Davante Adams. They're losing Davante Adams, and it's just like I'm over it. I'm over the Packers.
You know, the Packers' current roster is bereft of weapons. Ryan, what do you see from this team going forward?
Yeah, I mean, the passing offense is the brunt of their offense, and they lost their top 2 targets in Scantling and Adams. I honestly don't know why Aaron Rodgers came back. It was only for the money for him, because if he wanted the money and to win, he would have gone to Denver, because they have a lot more weapons there now than
Do you really think so, though?
I think that he has more of a better receiving core in Denver than he has in the Packers now.
I mean, I would have thought that if he came back, obviously Devontae would be coming back too.
But he knew he wasn't coming back.
I mean, well, they shouldn't. The Packers are idiots. They shouldn't have let Devontae Adams' contract run out. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Am I wrong?
Well, Samory, if Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be the best quarterback in football, back-to-back MVPs without Davante Adams, why don't you take us through that decision to go to Las Vegas and play with his former teammate Derek Carr?
Well, former college teammate. If we look at Devontae Adams' career stats, I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. I think he is the best receiver in the NFL next to Cooper Kupp. You see 8,121 yards for his career, 12.1 yards per catch, 73 touchdowns, most of them coming from Aaron Rodgers. 5-time Pro Bowler, back-to-back first-team All-Pro with his quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So I think he's going to flourish in Las Vegas, but I do think the Packers are going to benefit from Aaron Rodgers not only throwing to Davante Adams.
Andrew, Packers, pretenders, contenders without Davante Adams, what do you think?
Absolute pretenders. I mean, you know, it's lucky for the Packers that the NFC North is absolute buns, and that the Najee's Lions are probably going to win another 2 games this season like last year. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to get eliminated first down. They're not making anything big.
You know, Ryan, one of the craziest off seasons we've ever seen in the NFL. So many quarterbacks, so many star players making moves. With all the moves in the free agency, which one stood out to you?
The one that stood out to me the most was Davante Adams going to the Las Vegas Raiders, as you said. I mean, losing Henry Ruggs to obvious, circumstances last year, you need a number one guy, and he had the potential to become that number one guy, especially this year. But getting Davante, that is an added plus to an offense that needs a lot of help.
Cal, what is your favorite move for this offseason?
I'm going to go with a little bit of a sleeper here. I'm going to say Juju Smith-Schuster to the Kansas City Chiefs. And the reason I say that, he was injured last year, so he didn't get a ton of playing time. But in the year before that, he has 831 yards and 9 touchdowns. I don't think this is necessarily to replace Tyreek Hill, who I'll talk about later. I think it's more to change the focus of the Chiefs' offense. I think we're going to usher in a new style of play for the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to see more people touching the ball, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
The Packers and Chiefs are both going to have to make adjustments without their number one receivers going into next season. Andrew, what's your biggest move in this offseason?
I got to go J.C. Jackson to the Chargers. I mean, this is a good defense becoming better. He had 8 interceptions last year, second in the league, 23 pass deflections, first in the league. He's teaming up with Derwin James, Joey Bosa, and another new addition, Khalil Mack, next year. It's a great signing. It's the extra boost the Chargers needed. They're going to be good in the AFC West next year.
They're going to have to compete. They narrowly missed the playoffs this past season. Samory, what's your biggest acquisition?
We're going to just keep it in the AFC West. My biggest pick is Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos. Shout out to Mark Brandt. Russell Wilson, 292 touchdowns to 87 picks, second most quarterback wins in the first 10 years of his career, next to Peyton Manning. I think he's going to flourish with the receiving core there, and I can't wait to see this wild AFC West.
Andrew, with all these moves going into, that leads a lot of incoming storylines going to the NFL offseason in the regular season. Which one stands out to you the most as your biggest storyline?
Well, Samory was just talking about it. I got to go with the Wild Wild West. The AFC West is going to be an awesome division to watch this year. The Chargers acquired J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack. The Broncos get Russell Wilson and my former boy Randy Gregory. The Raiders get Davante. The Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill. They get a couple new receivers. AFC West was solid last year. The Chiefs and Raiders both made it to the playoffs. I think we're going to see 2-3 teams make it. It's going to be a really fun division to watch. I'm really excited.
Cal, what's your biggest storyline?
I like to see what's going on in the AFC East, specifically what's going on in Miami, the 305. Shout out Pitbull. They pick up head coach Mike McDaniel. They acquired Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs, but they also pick up some other guys like Teron Armstead from New Orleans and Raheem Mostert, who could be a sleeper guy that could make some things. I want to see if they can actually make a run at Buffalo, who's been dominant in that division for a while.
Brian?
We just invoked Pitbull in the sports tech. We hit rock bottom. I'm going to stop. The Buccaneers, Tom Brady, returning for his 23rd season, going to become the oldest quarterback to ever start in a game. Can they get further than the divisional round this year? I think that's going to be the number one storyline because with all the pieces they have coming back and plus the pieces that they have added and kept on offense, plus defense, I think that it is going to be a very interesting season for them. It's going to be under a huge microscope.
Who's going to be under a huge microscope this year? Aaron Rodgers, for everything that happened last season, for his playoff failures. Listen, my favorite quarterback of all time, and he has to get it done. Back-to-back MVP player, back-to-back first-team All-Pro. He just signed an extension for $150 million, made the NFC title game 2 out of the last 3 years. Biggest storyline to me, can he get back to the Super Bowl? Can he win? I think it's the most fascinating thing in the NFL every season. Can Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl and get into that higher class?
Well, the Packers under Matt LaFleur are 7-0 without Davante Adams. That's very hard to believe. Ooh. The NFL offseason has absolutely been on fire, and we are very excited to see what goes down coming up next season. We will send it over with a bounce pass to the NBA crew and talk about the NBA season as it heads into the playoffs. Keep it locked.